You'll share this apartment with a stranger, but don't dare call it a dorm. All right. So the first step into a posh new apartment building near Marina del Rey, which is a pretty nice neighborhood in the Los Angeles area. It's kind of near Venice. Feels like a mistake. There's no lobby. Instead, the doors open to a lounging kitchen. The idea is to encourage mingling, which is part of the appeal of a building where tenants have their own bedrooms but share common areas with people they don't know. But this is not your typical LA roommate situation. The bedrooms are spacious, the living rooms are furnished, and the residents are often selected by the landlord. Welcome to co-living. In a time of sky-high rents, the shared economy has transformed how we get around, how we travel, who sits next to us at the office, and now with whom we share our private spaces. Real estate developers like California Landmark Group, which owns apartment building 1C, are pioneering a new way of living. People get in others' cars and sleep in other people's beds. This is a natural expansion of the housing market in the shared economy. Co-living has the benefit of offering renters in search of social connection the chance to bond with new acquaintances in similar situations. Individual tenants at C1 pay at least $2,000 a month. So it's really cheap and affordable. But that's still cheaper than comparative singles in the neighborhood. That's true. That is cheaper than most places in Marina del Rey. So typically, a co-living renter has a private bedroom and can spring for a private bathroom, but they share the kitchen, the living room, and communal spaces. So it sounds like they don't always have a private bathroom, but they can spring for a private bathroom. Maybe that's a little extra. So I guess my assessment of this is, I guess it's cool. There's some kind of response to the society that we're in, but I think it's very sad that this has to be a thing. And, you know, whenever you hear the word shared economy, there's a little bit of an alert flag that goes up because this concerns me and this should concern you, that we're just going to sort of accept this as normal. That we're just going to kind of take this economy where, again, just in California alone, 40% of residents live at or below the poverty line. In California, one of the richest states in the country, one of the states that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the country, in California, 40% of residents live at or below the poverty line. But when you hear stuff like, oh, we got the gig economy, the shared economy, hey, we figured it out. We're going to be fine. We just need to have co-living housing. We just need to have Uber and Lyft, and we need to have more contractors. And people need to just continue to cut up pieces of the already diminishing pie until they have just enough that they taste a morsel. That's the concern. It leads to more articles saying, oh, millennials are fine. They're just rich in a different way. They don't have any resources or ability to do anything. But they can live in cities because they have to, because there's no jobs. It leads to more stuff like that. So while I think it's kind of cool that there's some kind of alternative, although these spaces are still very expensive, I don't like the idea that we're accepting stuff like this as normal. And we already have types of alternative housing in the United States. You know, if you really want to explore alternative housing but live in a bustling city, you could work at a hostel in exchange for housing. You could do an extended stay in some type of artist housing. A lot of cities offer stuff like that. So again, I'm not against this existing. I am wary at making the shared economy and the gig economy the new normal in our society. That's kind of my assessment on it. But my question to you, would you guys live in something like this? Would you do it? For me, if I was in a situation and it was my best and only option, I would. But I would certainly... it wouldn't be my first choice. I'd rather just kind of team up with roommates. You know, I'd rather just get... I mean, that's another thing. You can always have roommates. You know, I bet that if you found a two-bedroom in Marina del Rey or, you know, some kind of, like a house or something, you could probably beat $2,000 a month if you did something like that. So, or, you know... if you're in a relationship, that always helps too. You know, me and my My fiance and I share a one-bedroom because that's all the space we need. It's just the two of us, and we split the rent, so that makes it cheaper. So I guess, my answer is if it was my best option, I wouldn't be opposed to it if I were in such a situation. But it certainly wouldn't be my first choice. I'd rather just have roommates because then at least it's like you're going in it with people you know. But if it's my best choice, we'll see. What are you guys saying? Let me see what you guys are saying. We were done with that article as soon as an ad popped up. How cool is that? All right, so let me see what you guys are saying in response to this. We need to fix inequality, but people need solutions in the meantime. I agree. 311 by Design brings up mini houses. I have heard that. At least they aren't little sleeper cells, Pat points out. That's very true. The cost of housing in California is absurd. People don't think about moving here. It is very high here. Mike S. points out they hope we become complacent. Exactly. That's sort of my concern. However, again, and I'll point this out again, I'm not against it existing because we need something. But, again, I am concerned about this becoming the new normal. Paying $2,000 to lose more privacy? No. Edwin says no. Aaron, you ran a hostel. That's awesome. Where'd you run a hostel at? That's really freaking cool. The 1% of the people who need to share one way or another. I live in a little sleeper cell in my truck. I used to live in my car too. Green Fang says Americans lack cohabitation skills. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I got nothing to point to one way or another. Garden Gnome, just live out of motels. It would be cheaper than that. I don't know if that's true. Paying for a motel daily or even at a weekly rate, I doubt it would be much cheaper than $2,000 a month, if cheaper at all. I don't think that would be cheaper than $2,000 a month. Because it's like, it adds up. I know, like, when you look at the daily, it sounds like, oh, man. But when you add up the weeklies, it's not, at least not in that area. Maybe in some areas you could find a monthly motel that's cheaper than $2,000 a month. But in Marina Del Rey, I don't think that'd be the case. Let's see. I have a bedroom, but I slept in my basement with cats and robots. I said your name correctly, and that means a lot. You're very welcome. Overpopulation is the elephant behind the couch, said Zero Divisor. So I guess some of you guys, oh man, that's so cool. Aaron ran a hostel in Australia. That is so neat. I want to tour in Australia, and I will play your hostel if it's still there. If you want, I will do a show at your hostel. I do love, and this is a different topic for a different day, but I used to really love the hostel subculture. And I don't know if it's still the way it was. Like, I don't know. I know in the United States it never really caught on the way it did in other parts of the world, but I did have some great hostel experiences in the United States. Green Tortoise up in Seattle is a really cool one. And they, San Francisco had a cool one. LA actually had, and I'm sure it's still there, the Hollywood Hostel used to be really cool. They would do barbecues where for $5 it was like all you could eat. And they would do different things where you could kind of stay there and work there in exchange for a bed. Yeah. The hostel will gladly have you play in their beer garden pool area. Drop me an email because I'm trying to tour Australia and we will make this happen. Drop me an email, Aaron, ronplacone.com, and we will make this happen. So yeah, I don't know if that culture's still like that or not. And this is a different topic for a different day. We're getting kind of off topic, but I would love, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I wanted to bring this up. I thought it'd be a fun topic for today. And yeah, that's my take on it. I'm not against it existing because we got to do something to fight what's going on and to have more affordable housing. But the idea of the gig economy and the shared economy just becoming the new normal because we can't do better, that's concerning. We should be looking into ways not just of adapting to our horrible circumstances, but of making them better. because there's a lot we can do to make them better. I.e. have Medicare for all, i.e. have living wages, i.e. have a Green New Deal, a jobs program, a universal basic income combined with extensive rent control. So that's my take on that.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and